Welcome back, guys. It is now June 1st, 2025, and we are performing much better than expected. We are the best team in the American League at 32-19, 627 win percentage. We're leading the AL South by 7.5 games. Somehow we continually lose to Tampa Bay, but I didn't even notice they are at the bottom, not just of our division, but one of the bottom two teams in all of the American League. We have a clogged up AL North, and the Chicago Cubs are the best team in baseball. They are 37-13, coming off of a 17-1 victory over the Washington Nationals. I think their offense is the best. Yeah, and who is leading the charge? Matt Shaw. Interesting. Okay, so he's got 10 bombs, but he's got -0.2 WAR. Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah, so Pete Crow Armstrong's on a pace for 8 WAR. 380 BABIP, though, probably overperforming quite a bit. Dansby's also on pace for 8 WAR. Moncada's playing right field. Horner. Yeah, I don't really know where this. Let's look at run differentials for a second here. Okay, so they're only outperforming their Pythagorean by 2. What are we? We're outperforming the Pythagorean by 1. Texas has a better run differential. The Yankees have a better run differential. But real happy with the way we've performed up to this point in the season, considering we were, pegged to be around a 500 team before the season. As you look at kind of our breakdown over here, went 13-9 in April and went 19-10 in May. Dominating right-handed starting pitching. Pretty good on the road, very good at home. But you look, so offensively, we need to be better. We strike out a ton. We draw a lot of walks, but we definitely strike out a ton, and we're, you know, seventh in the AL in offense. And if you look at our slash, 11th in batting average, seventh in on base, 10th in slugging. We're just not really scoring enough. We're 11th in the AL in runs in what should be a hitters friendly ballpark. At least somewhat, at least for right-handed hitters, absolutely, which we have a lot of. But you look at our pitching and defense, we're the best. We're the best in the AL. Starter second, which coming into this year, I did not think that, especially with Montes, our ace from last year, on the IL until he won't be back until July, and that'll be a major boost to our starting rotation, which has already been the second best in the league. And then we knew the bullpen was going to be great, but they've just really been outstanding. And I'll get to some guys. We could limit the walks, but that's kind of our philosophy. We're going to strike guys out, and in turn, the control might not be there. And then, middle of the pack defensively, that's not really our calling card this year. We're kind of, that helps us that we have a pitching staff of guys that can strike guys out. If we just look by WAR here, we're looking at F WAR here. The acquisition, Pinjen Hark from Taiwan, who I didn't think was going to be a starter, has been more than capable. 2 WAR, on pace for 4.4 WAR. Getting a little unlucky with the ERA, but that tends to happen. The FIP's going to be higher the FIP is going to be better when the strikeout rate is below average, meaning that he's just giving up more balls in play. And FIP doesn't account really for balls in play. It accounts for homers, strikeouts, and walks. And actually on Twitter, I believe it was John Anderson. If someone wants to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he just put out some research showing that, not all if you have a 14%, so this number right here next to the BB percentage, we have strikeouts percentage minus base on balls percentage. Based on how that is broken down, uh, you'll actually see better ERAs with higher strikeouts and higher walks. So, like, let's say Pinjen Hark, right? He's got 16.5 K minus BB percentage. If this breakdown, instead of it being 20% Ks, 3% walks, was, let's say, 30% Ks, that might be too much. There's a certain point where walks become too damaging. But let's say it was 27% Ks and 10% walks. I guarantee you his ERA would be better just because now the number of runners, the number of at bats that lead to a ball in play at this point is about 77%, whereas in that world, it would be about 63% because 27% of the time he's striking a guy out, 10% of the time he's walking a guy. And the fewer base runners, not just base runners, but the fewer chances a ball is allowed to be put in play, you tend to see better ERAs, even with the, keeping the K minus BB constant. So, hoping to see him strike out a few more guys, especially with that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. But he only has, two main pitches. And Aaron Ashby has been a revelation. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Um, he started off real hot last season as well. And he, in the initial preseason predictions, he was just dominating. It looked like he was going to have a dominant year. He's kind of living up more to those expectations than the updated preseason expectations. So very happy about that. Hugo Villalobos has been a more than a capable starter. Just really great work out of him. 4 starter putting up 4 WAR. That'd be tremendous, tremendous value. And then Morahone has been equally as good, although there should be some regression coming. 50% above average with the ERA, but about league average with FIP. If he's league average as a 5 starter, we're gonna be great. We're gonna be fine. I had to move Brian Abreu out of the stopper role just because he was having a below average season, but just walking too many guys this year. But still happy to have him in the bullpen. So we moved our long-term reliever Cam Robinson, who's been having a crazy, crazy year, at least on the ERA front, a 1.73 ERA in 41 innings, on pace for 4.3 RWAR out of the pen. I am intrigued by the opportunity to maybe even make him a starter, especially because we have him under such a cheap contract. And if we can get starter innings out of a guy this talented, I would be pretty excited about that. Like, that's a good starter profile. He's got 3 pitches, but for now, he is our stopper. So, and then Giovanni Moran, Pete Fairbanks with a 1.37 ERA. Just great year from the bullpen. The lineup, we need to do better, but Harrison Bader, uh, not even doing it too much with the glove. I mean, his range, I think, went down to a 70, but still on pace for 6 WAR. This will come down. I guarantee you he'll finish the year between 3 and 4 WAR. 403 BABIP, not sustainable, but happy that he's seeing results up to this point. Addison Barger, he missed a little bit of time with injury, but still second on the team in WAR. I mean, this bat is going to play. I don't know what his fielding stats are. Let's just look at Major League. So he's played, 2 innings in left, or an inning in right field, no innings. I guess 1 game in left. Played 4 innings at short. Okay, so at second base, he's a negative defender, which, we knew he's not going to be awesome defensively. But with that bat, I'm happy to have him. Got to make sure the scope is Major League because Ramon Urias is not. Okay. Ooh, so Barger. Okay, Barger, he was on a rehab assignment. That's right. Okay. Sorry about that. He's not second on the team in WAR. Alec Burleson is second on the team in WAR. And that's just, strictly from the bat. Pretty good. Would like it to be better. But Willie Adames, not a premium shortstop defender, but I don't really care. We're trying to extract value at this at the position, and I don't care if you're a 70 glove at short if your WRC plus is in the 20s. So sorry, Nick Ahmed. Actually, just real briefly, why don't we look up how our friend is doing this season? Slick Nick. I mean, much better with the bat. I figured, he might bounce back a little bit, but I think, oh, he's out. Partially torn labrum. Okay. So, I'm happy with Adamas. Kennedy Corona, unfortunately, a Rule 5 pick who I was very excited about. He's regressed scouting wise, and he's going to turn into more like a league average player. Um, so less excited about him, but I think he's still good to have on the team, especially if we can hold him through this year and then, he becomes a more flexible player that we can option up and down in the future. Joe Adell, mainly just hitting against lefties, not many appearances, but doing well with his opportunities. Would like to see that BABIP start to rise a little bit. And then, yeah, Edward Julian, he was down to like a 50 WRC plus a few weeks ago, but had to take him out of the leadoff spot, just striking out way too much. Although I have a feeling with these ratings, he's going to bounce back. Jose Ramirez got hurt, so I'll show you his stats, but he was starting to turn it around. He didn't start off too great, but the WAR's lower just because he's DHing a lot because we have McMahon at third and Barger playing second. But, it's exactly what we could have asked of him. He'll only be out a week, so we'll get him back. Montes, it should be another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Yep, 3 weeks. And I'll be very excited to throw him in the already, make this the best starting rotation in baseball. But yeah, that's the big league team. From a player development standpoint, um, Cody Schreier is no longer a top 150 prospect. His scouting has regressed a little bit, but he continues to improve his current overall. And if he could tap into the max of all of these categories, uh, I think he'll be a good big league player. And to get him in the second round, that's all we could really ask for, a good big league player. Ethan Murray, hasn't done anything yet with Omaha this year. And we got the international guys. Jaron DeBerry, the Dallas Baptist product. His scouting has improved immensely since last year, and he looks like he could be a legitimate big league starter, if not a bullpen guy, up here pretty soon. I think I just called him up to AAA. So, but in 9 AA starts, a 143 ERA plus, 14% K minus BB. Yeah, I mean, I like him, and I like his ratings. Tolentino, I actually haven't checked on him. Okay, so he's having a mediocre year, and I think his scouting might have regressed a little bit too. It has, but so be it. I still like the defense. I still like the potential for the bat. Kendall George, I'm still excited about. It's going to take time to build this system up. I know that for sure. Oof, Banfield. All right, but yeah, but let's just go here to our team schedule real quick. So this is what the month of June looks like. The Major League Draft is scheduled for June 26th. I think I'll get to that in next week's video. But, I think what we need, what we're going to need to look for on, excuse me, I keep clicking on the wrong things. Peter Van Loon. Interesting. Is he starting for them? I mean, this guy could be a starter. UC Irvine. Interesting. So he was playing for the Rockland Boulders. Very interesting. Okay, that's cool. Good for him. Um, yeah, but I am going to look through the trade block a little bit. We go all players: Bednar, Freddie Fermin. And what's he doing this year? 124 with decent catcher ability, sure, but we're good at catcher. DJ probably just want to dump the contract, but I'd be curious. Okay, nobody's really catching my eye too much at this point. Let's just always double check waivers. Jake Walsh, no. Okay, I mean Kalish. Did he go in the? No, that was just a. That was international signing last year. That's the only thing I wish was different about this game engine. You look at a guy like Kalish, who's 17 years old, 20 in essentially every major hitting category, and he's the number two prospect in baseball just because they're looking at this upside. But in reality, he would probably be maybe top 200, but because he's so raw right now, he wouldn't be the number two prospect in baseball. And I wish they could kind of account for like a guy like, let's look for like Dylan Cruz, right? He's already there. I mean, he progressed real quickly. That's crazy. But like the guy already has like that's a bad example because he's already a stud. Um, but like let's look at you know, hmm, I'm trying to find a good example. Like Marcelo Meyer, so he's 22 at this point. Well, he's already there too. I'm looking for a guy that's basically like 40, 40, 40, 40 current, and then still has the high end potential. That would be a guy that should be like top 5, top 10. But these guys that are 16, 17, 18, unless they're a guy like Ethan Salas in real life, they shouldn't be number one, number two prospect in baseball. So that is an area that you could probably, and like Ethan Salas is above this in real life, but um, did that have him going to Abilene Christian? Fun fact, folks, he did not go to Abilene Christian, but uh, no worries. Um, and now Cade Kuehler, the guy we traded, he's a top 100 prospect. But we got Jose Ramirez for him. So anyway, folks, I'm just gonna sim through this one game. Actually, we'll see if we win. Finish the episode on a good note, and we win 2-0. Pitching bails us out again. 2 runs in the sixth. The stud Pinzen Hark. Not getting a lot of strikeouts, but hey, as long as you don't allow runs to score, I don't care how you do it. You know, we can worry about the future in the future. Um, so yeah, guys, I'm real excited about this team. Much more excited about this team this year than I was coming into the season. Uh, kind of just striving. I still feel it in my bones. I think we're gonna hit a rough patch at some point. We're probably gonna end up very similar to last year's team, where we're, fighting around 500 around August and September, and we just need to kind of break out of it. We just need to hit that 90 win mark. I'd be so happy just hitting that 90 win mark. And we're on great pace to do that thus far. So, who got the runs for us? Ramon Urias, good little trade there, I guess. Austin Hayes, how are you doing? Just similar to how he performed last season with us, just slightly below his ratings. I don't think any of these other guys are doing very much, but that's okay. I mean, got his salary off the books, and got some guys at least in the system that I think can help our minor league teams, and then we got Urias. So, um, like I said, very happy with this team. I hoping to get Montes back and really get going. hopefully keep outperforming. This is not good. Jose Ramirez is still suffering. So, hey, you know what? We're playing well. We're doing better than we should be doing. Uh, Real quickly, just going to look at the All Star voting. And then, yeah, Fernando Tatis is having a great year. Jose Ramirez is the league leader for designated hitter. Um, Cam Robinson is fourth for relievers. And anyone else on the board? I mean, this is just a good ball club. Like, we don't have stars, ironically, us being the Nashville Stars, but we're doing it. We're winning ball games. We're playing close, and we're going to keep having to find ways to win games with undervalued assets. And hopefully, we'll pick up some guys in the draft and also make some moves to get some more uh, sluggers in the lineup, some bats in the system to help propel us to hopefully an ALCS berth this year, missing it last year just by a couple games. So thank you guys for watching once again. Um, Next video, we'll look at the MLB draft and see how we're doing at the end of June, and then if we could pack it all into one episode or the week after, we'll go into the trade deadline and try to boost this roster for yet another postseason run in just our second year. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.